our coaching staff last year. Actually, he was actually assistant to Ryan Steed.
Okay.
But this year has taken another round. Randall comes with a vast array of experience. He has coached St. George's before as a skipper as well.
Correct.
So I know he's a very strict disciplinarian and an honest person when it comes to dealing with cricket. So we're just looking for some bigger and better things. Our program has been on the up and up.
Yes.
So with no, I have to give kudos to Mr. Ryan Steed and his team that have been coaching so far. And I'm not talking about cup match. I'm talking about our league structure.
Correct.
So Randall will just enhance that product.
With that said, you saw a vast improvement with your league and cup match last year in 2018. And I alluded that you can see the difference as the years went by. So kudos to Ryan Steed and his coaching staff. Bringing in Wendell will bring significant experience.
Yes.
And of course, there's going to be a little banter going on between the two brothers. I've been told also that Clay has taken over at flats. So that's going to be interesting to see Wendell and Clay take it on this year.
Yes.
It's very interesting. With St. George's this year hosting the cup. Let me get it very correctly there. Hosting the cup. Preparations are always in favor of getting things ready early. Of course, when cup match is over, whoever's the opposing club to take it the following year, they get things in motion. How are things going for you thus far in St. George's?
Yeah, well, we've been preparing for quite some time now. By March 1st, most of our contractual agreements we're hoping will be finalized, or at least by the end of March. So preparations are ongoing. So that's all I can really say right now.
Sure enough.
But we're looking forward to having everything done in a good time.
Right. I think last time we spoke, we said that there's been speculation that you've been serving, I think, 18, 19 years as the president. 17. This marks 18 this year.
It'll be 18, yes.
Right. So what is the future for you? Can we see more years to come, or are you looking to hang it up, call it retirement anytime soon?
Well, let's just say things are being put in place so that when that time comes, whoever takes over will be fully equipped to do the job.
Okay, so usually when the transition is put in place, I can catch on to that. That maybe this could be your last year or another year thereafter.
Well, let's just say the transition is in motion. I can't really say if this will be my last year.
Okay.
If the members feel that this is my last year, then this may be my last year. But at the end of the day, I'm just here for the club.
Right.
And I'm here to serve the members, and that's all I do.
In your, this marks your 18th year.
Yeah.
In your 18 years, you've seen a lot happen.
Yes.
You've seen the good, you've seen the challenging, and the not so good. What stands out most in your mind during your 18 years?
I think, I've been 18 just as president, but I've been on the committee a lot longer than
as
that.
president, that's what I'm referring to.
But I think a significant change, I think some has to be in the attitude of some of our people from St. George's.
Okay.
I think my goal was always, yes, I want the club to be successful, but I'm all about bringing people together. I want the St. George's community to rally around St. George's Cricket Club, not just Neil Painter.
Right.
And so for me, the significant changes, we see a lot more younger people, I wouldn't say younger, less mature people, wanting to get involved in the club. Because I think that's important. Before just certain individuals want to get involved, but I believe a lot more people want to get involved in the running of St. George's Cricket Club. And I think that bodes great for our future.
What the long-term prognosis of the cricket program, bringing in Wendell? How long is this contract, and what are you hoping to gain this particular year from his knowledge and his wealth of experience?
As far as how long he'll be there, we haven't really finalized that yet. We do talk about the long-term future of Wendell at our club, but for us, what we want Wendell to do, we tell him our main priority is our league structure and ensuring that our youth program stays the way it is, which is a good program, and our league structure just goes from strength to strength. And I've always been a believer, and Wendell knows this as well, is that if our league structure is in place, then cup match takes care of itself. But now we've been successful in cup match. I know in my tenure, my time at the club, our league structure has been very strong. What that does entails the individuals who are coming from other clubs, they have to be either that good or much better to make cup match, which also builds a good competition. So that is our main priority right now, is to get our league structure, continue the ascendancy of our league structure.
You guys were able to get promoted last year with playing a collective team structured cricket together. is Ryan still a part of playing? Because he played a lot last year,
Yes.
and he was instrumental in a lot of games of turning either with the bat or ball.
Yes.
But has he said he wants to continue as a player and helping out?
He hasn't really spoke to that. I know he wants to continue on helping out the youth program, which is important to us. So he will be a part of that. I'm sure that if he is called upon, he will. Or he may just play some evening league cricket with you guys. But at the end of the day, I think he'll do whatever he feels in the best interest for himself and the club.
There's been times where you've actually had to suit up.
Yeah.
Do you see that in the near future with the program that you have in place now, especially with the youth program? You can call on some of those youngsters to fill the void.
I don't look forward to playing on Sunday. So
I
tried to get to the game late, then I got a phone call. Hey, I said, okay, all right. But no, see, I mean, a good thing for us, but we have a lot of kids who are away in school. And so it's good for our program, but also it takes away from, when I say it takes away from the short term,
right,
meaning that they're not here to start the season. But the long term, it means that when they come back from school, we'll have a good program. So no, I don't intend on playing any Sunday cricket unless it's our league, evening league team playing against the first team.
Well, I not just to change the subject, but staying on cricket, I just left the Bermuda Cricket Board where an announcement was made that Herbie Bascom is now the new national head coach. Your thoughts on brother-in-law, part of the family, former captain, being now the national coach for Bermuda?
First of all, congratulations to him, and I wish him well, like any other coach who becomes part of that. No, I think he can do an excellent job. I think his most important goal is to be getting players to be committed to the program and wanted to play for Bermuda, because I think that's the most important. I think he does have those attributes, relationship, because being a coach is all about relationships. Yes, you can have all the technical aspects and the skills, but in Bermuda, it's about relationships, building trust, having people trust what you're trying to disseminate to them. So I think he'll do a good job.
And obviously, having him around the team in St. George also is a plus as well, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. And I think that our players should, look at that as exciting times. I mean, Herbie knows our players. So if they're performing well, like he knows many other players, I'm not saying he's going to be biased to St. George's, but I think, there should be incentive for some of our St. George's players to really want to perform and do well.
Now, watch the smile on Ian's face, because some of the people that
I'm always smiling.
No. You usually grin. Here's some of the people that he's looking to help bring into the fold as part of his assistant coaches, which is Gennaro Tucker. See, look, see? Reggie Tucker, Jeff Richardson. So he's surrounded himself with some of the people.
Well, I would say, yes, if we look at our biases, yes.
But he can't stop smiling.
What I would say is that the East is at the top, and he's bringing these. No, there's all good coaches. So I think what Herbie has looked at as people who he feels can enhance his program. So with those names, I think Bermuda will only go from strength to strength. So I have no issue with that. This is the Bermuda national team that we have to understand. The Bermuda national team. So Herbie's decided those guys, and I think they'll do an excellent job.
Herbie and
see the green on Ian's face?
No, I'm going down the middle.
See the green on Ian's face?
You're pretty
I
good.
just wanted to bring you the one so everybody can see the green on Ian's face.
Right, but let's be real, right? I'm down the middle, right?
Where?
When it comes to the national squad.
Oh, okay.
Right? But you're biased for St. George's, I'm biased for Summers. There's no doubt about that.
I'm not biased. I'm for St. George's.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
No bias.
All right. In all fairness, and Herbie has been in the national program for Bermuda as a former player with football and cricket, and he knows full well it's not about this side to take on Bermuda. He knows he needs a balanced team. So that's why it's common sense, and that's what the president's saying. It's common sense. It's the national team. It could have been all St. George's coaches, and I'd have been happy, because that's what's the program entails, because they are the coaches, meaning that they have the program to put in place. Just so happen that, yes, there's some, but I'm not looking at either way. What's best for Bermuda's cricket?
Yes.
All right, we haven't been in the position since 2007, the last World Cup, and which has been getting downhill from the national program. Hopefully, we can go up, and this may be the way going forward. The names that you put together from the coaching perspective, powerful names, and those guys are dedicated to cricket, and these guys know each other. When you talk about relationships, these guys have relationships. So kudos to his coaching staff, and kudos to the head coach. And I won't be surprised if he takes him to the top. I'm not going to be honest.
And he's also, I think he also assisted Gus Logie as well.
That's right.
And was with Moore for a short stint as well.
Right.
So he's been with the national coaches that the board has brought in to help.
It's just that it's not an easy task. That
it's a straight line. What's the fastest way from where you're
at
right now?
It's just not an easy task for him. But you know, he puts in the time, and like the president said, it's committed players. The coaches will be committed. It's just that the players need to be committed, and then once that's in place, they want to get the results.
Yes.
And then the hard work and labor pays off, and you say, you know what, this is the way forward. So again, kudos to the new coach, Herbie Baskin, and his coaching staff. Yeah. You want to take a commercial break, first commercial break of the day, and we'll be back after this. Just switching steel in cricket, we got the president here of St. George's Cricket Club, Mr. Neil Painter. What's in store for St. George's this year, Mr. President, in the league cricket? Yes, now that you have your new head coach, Randall Smith, back in the round, what are your expectations? What sort of players are you looking to groom? You guess you got a good youth program. What does it look like going forward?
Well, basically, with Randall coming on board, we're looking for him to, you know, bring his expertise to our club, and also to inspire the younger kids who want to come through. And one thing I've always said, St. George's have a lot of history when it comes to cricket players on our league team. The unfortunate side of it is that not a lot of them have put time back into the club. They are always welcome to come back to and assist St. George's Cricket Club. Very few have done that. And I say that, very few. And I don't say that to put it out there, but it happens at a lot of clubs.
I just want to say, that's
not just St. George's Cricket Club, where players come through the ranks, do well, are successful, and then you don't see them anymore for whatever reason. I think it's important that these players come back and give off some of their advice, because they're always welcome. I will go out and say there's no one that has played for St. George who is not welcome to come and give some input in a team. Yes, you have to go speak to the coach and do it right, but, you know, no one has never been unwelcomed at St. George's Cricket Club.
Always an open door.
Always an open door.
And you made a good point. It just doesn't happen at St. George's. It happens at various clubs in Bermuda. It's just because the way of technology is changing. And I say that because in the 80s and 90s, the former players who were retiring back then came back and gave something to the club. Players that are retiring now, like the name you called, Janelle Tucker, I just used that as an example.